very deep rosters. Well, in very deep rosters, SAS actually has one of the smallest rosters, but can I say that they're on average the best roster? Like their average player on SAS?
I guess hard to say, especially when Zeke was there. Now that Zeke isn't there, it's slightly weaker, but they still have strong players. They don't really have any like guys that are B. Oh, who was I forgetting? Sass Lokdog is definitely one. Who actually beat Dove on stream the other day. Now I know Dove is kind of out of shape just returning, but still, anytime you're beating a Korean X Pro, you're probably doing something respectably right.
All right.
We just have a sec to throw up the lineup. We'll see who's actually playing in the first match. Where's that SAS banner? There we go. It is going to be... Oh, yeah, duh. I feel like an idiot now. I forgot Michael. So we're going to have SAS. We're going to have Michael against iFU's Cryok.
All right.
So let's head into it. First game. So Michael shouldn't need much introduction. Strong finish in the last TLS. Who did he die to? Zeke. Was it in the finals? I think it was in the finals that he lost to Zeke. I don't know if he's been active as of late, so he might be a little rusty. He looked a little rusty. He fell out pretty quickly in this TLS, so hopefully he's resolved the practice issue and is back to full form. And of course, Cryok shouldn't need a whole lot of introduction either. He was one of the players that really rose fast. It wasn't all that long ago that he was like, a C+, B- guy, and then in the space of what felt like a few months, he went to being a solid Gambit's Cup contender. I think he went like 6-1 or 6-0 or some really strong record in Gambit's Cup and really proved himself as a player and is noted especially for his TVZ. But the question is it enough to take on one of the top foreign scene players, Michael?
Yeah, I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a pretty rough match for Cryok. To say nothing of their relative skill levels, Michael is a really eccentric player. He likes to do lots and lots of really different things, which oftentimes manifests in cheese. But he also, even when he's playing quote-unquote standard, he adds in lots of his own wrinkles and plays the game the way he wants to. And Cryok's a player who really likes to play things by the book. The more standard the game is, the better he's going to do. And he just wants to get up his 4 bases. He just wants to push you down, and no surprises at all. But against a player like Michael, he has a lot of trouble. So I think that SAS got a pretty nice matchup advantage game 1 in terms of just raw play style. So, 12 patch. Excuse me. 12 patch for Michael, and nothing out of the ordinary for the Terran player. Sending out his scout now. So, this will be a little bit weird saying week 1, because it's week 2, but this is the last game this is the last set between teams that haven't played so far.
Yeah.
What's a fortnight's 20 days, right?
I can't say one I never actually learned. I don't know. It's either 20 or is it 4? I can't remember. I don't know. Someone in chat probably knows.
I want to call this the last game of the first fortnight. Can we just break it up by fortnights?
I'm a little concerned for this Overlord. It died last time, and it could die this time. Although, wait. Oh, never mind. Okay, Crack. Either just expected 12 hatch or something, because he just CC'd before Marine. So something made him confident enough to go ahead and do that. Maybe just took a gamble and got away with it. I'm not actually sure. But either way, Michael looks to be playing pretty normal here. Just 3 hatch gas. So pretty standard opening so far from both players, and Crack gets the best possible draw. I mean, ideally against 12 hatch, you want to just go ahead and CC before making any Marines, and that's what he did. And it looks like Michael's going to make 2 pairs of Lings. Yeah, 2 pairs of Lings, then getting his Overlord. Marines on the way for Crack. We got the gas about done. And it's going to be eBay, so we're probably going to see 5 racks plus 1 from Cryok.
Yeah. It's definitely typical Cryok, just playing everything by the book. But as I say that, Michael is also playing a very, very standard game. So we're going to see a nice little micro battle between the Mutalists and the Marines once, presumably doing Mutalists, but almost certainly isn't. Once those do come out. Nice quick eBay for that +1. And this is typically where we'll see Cryok go for a nice big swell of barracks. He likes to go for that quick +1, quick, relatively quick armory, and then add on lots and lots of barracks. Go from 1 to 4, 1 to 5 in an instant.
I think it's safe to say we'll see Muta from Michael, as there's no sign of a Hydra Den anywhere. So he's going to be going for the, I guess you could say, the classic standard Zerg opener, 3-hatch Muta. And I don't actually know. Oh, okay. He'll probably take this base where his Overlord is at now on the right side. He'll probably take that as a third, as it looks like it's a pretty narrow choke that you can effectively block with 2 lurkers. Because I was going to say, there's not like a high ground third on this map, I don't think. So I was a little curious, but that looks to be defendable by just a few lurkers. And yeah, there's the Spire going down.
This is like match point in that way of it being a little bit unfortunate that Zerg doesn't have that safe third that you can defend with lurkers. The corner expos do have high grounds, but with 2 ramps it kind of defeats the purpose of being on a high ground. But those side expos will be good enough. Makes it a little bit easier if the Terran player's feeling a little bit risky and wants to scan and try to focus it down. It's a lot easier doing that on flag terrain than it is on a high ground, but still will be relatively effective with that small of a choke.
And we can see barracks coming up from Crack. It looks like so far it's just 4 racks. And Michael has a few speedlings, but nice little wall from Crack there. No real opportunity for those to run in. And Michael is going to just go ahead and plant his third nice and quickly. Which means his eco is relatively booming. Not quite saving up enough money to make 9 meter right away, but I think he's getting about 7, and we'll probably add a few more. This does give him a little extra gas. I wonder if he throws the Hydra Den down faster with that. Yeah, he throws that Hydra Den down a little bit faster with that.
So, Cryok did get the very fast engineering bay, but did not build any turrets off of that, as he was expecting that Michael wouldn't be going for any fast Mutalists. He did scout the 3rd hatchery, so didn't need to defend against a 2-hatch Muta. And now going to have them just in the nick of time, as well, that's Cryok's strength. He knows the timings. He's going to be able to get them at the very last possible moment to still be safe. And here they come, getting one scouting SCV, but flying over the Marines, taking some initial damage. This turret position. Interesting turret position.
But it looks okay. It's just kind of in the mineral line there and allows them to shoot. And that's one of the things about +1 is you can afford to move out. You get enough Marines when you get like 4 or 5 racks like this. You've got enough Marines that you can move out, and basically you don't have to make as many turrets because Zerg has to come up and defend. And Michael finding a few free Marines, that is not an ideal start from Cryok, as he quickly rips those apart. And of course, one of the things Michael known for is both mechanics and very nice Muta control here. So we'll see if Cryok also has the control needed. Michael flying a little bit into some Marines, but they're also here without medics, so which means he can fight them happily if he wants to with the Muta. And again, he's finding the rally points and picking off those Marines. Does have a couple missed shots here, and oh, another missed shot. So the Muta control a little off. I don't know if it's laggy or if Michael's just slightly off, but it has not been the usual super pristine micro we're used to. Carapace +1 just starting. Lurkers finishing now, so he's going to be able to defend his base with lurkers, which is really all that counts. Assuming he's okay, he's just morphing them into natural. I think they'll get over there in time. He should be able to slow them down enough, and he's got a lot of lings out right now. We'll see if he wants to go for the engage. He's going for it. Muta leading. He's not really microing them, so the Muta can be targeted down, which is exactly what Cryok is doing, trying to get rid of them all, but it's going to allow the lings to pick off the rest of the Marines, and actually a lot of Michael's Muta surviving. So now Michael's going to be feeling right as rain. And there's actually all of a sudden a head in supply, which is a bit scary.
That was a really harsh engagement to lose all your Marines this early. It's going to set Cryok back. It means he can't get really any aggression going. And how many Mutalisks are left for Michael?
I don't
He
think it's
has
that many, maybe 4.
5 of them in the control group. Okay. And the reason that I mentioned the turret positioning is normally on a map like this, you build the turrets behind the mineral line, so that as soon as the Mutalisks pop over, the turrets are already there shooting at them, and really try to protect the SCVs as much as possible. By placing them so far away from the cliff, it means that they're a lot harder to snipe for the Mutalisks, but also means that the Mutalisks have a little bit easier time going for the SCVs. So it's interesting being more defensive of the turret and less defensive of the SCVs. You don't see many teams. A little bit interesting. Anyway, back up to a respectable Marine count again. It does mean that the few Mutalisks that are left need to at least fear them a little bit. Can't be casually flying over. And Michael just doesn't quite have the number necessary to really be doing any harass with them. It's an unfortunate number of Mutalisks. Like, if you had one more, if 6 Mutalisks, that's a good enough number to be harassing things. But 5, I don't know, you just kind of throw it in the army.
And now Krak has a tank bolstering this army. Should have Vessel on the way. He's getting a dropship first, though. Can be a little harassing that. And it's interesting to note that Michael has not put lurkers at the choke of his third base. He's just kind of defending out on the map.
Yeah, and I like that. You won the engagement with you won that initial engagement. You know you killed off a lot of the Marines, and just look at all the overlords around the map. Overlords and sergeants. He has complete knowledge of where Krak is. So he doesn't need to be holding those lurkers back. He can be using all of his forces to apply pressure and getting ready for this. What could be a really important engagement here if Michael decided he wants for it, but nope. Doesn't let the look. Just gonna back off.
Dropship has been loaded up with 6 Marines so far, probably going to add like 2 medics into that. Now these lurkers might be stop lurkers because they're not shooting. We'll see if Michael can bait these stop lurkers nicely. You can see he's trying to. The Krak throws down the scan. And now these lurkers should leave, but no, I guess Michael's just going to go for it outright. And here we go, he's coming in, lurkers burrowing, but I think if Krak spreads well, he'll be fine. He's back off of that. One of the tanks might go down though. And he does get one of the tanks. Another tank unfortunately turns the wrong way into the lurkers, but they do die in time. And now there's about as many lurkers as Marines, so I think Krak is going to have to retreat from this. And this one of the things you got to expect is the hive wasn't super fast for Michael. It is done now. It isn't super fast, so it's making for this larger lair army that's actually able to push Krak back a little bit as Krak loses his other tank now. And I think, okay, over here, I was like, where'd the dropship go? It is flying down the right side. Michael seems to know about it, though. A bunch of Lings are in that expansion. Krak may just decide to fly over this base and head to the main, or he's going to drop behind the mineral line. No, he's going to fly to the main. There's a tank sieged up, shooting a few of the lurkers. Michael will probably ought to unburrow these. Marines unloading here. Lings coming back in position. And there is a single medic with that, but the Lings are on top of the Marines pretty nicely. And I think they're going to clean... Nope. The Marines are going to clean up the Lings right now, but the dropship might get scourged in the process. All the drones being forced to evacuate. The dropship does get scourged. These lurkers have not
pulled back.
But he's going to get the pull maybe. And can he get it before Crackling finishes? It's close. The Lings are coming back in. Can they distract long enough to get Krak? It's going to be very close. He's not going to focus it. He's going to get adrenal finishes. He may still get the pull, though, because he's in a ridiculously efficient position that's causing Michael nightmares. So he gets the pull, but Michael does buy enough time at least to get his Krak out. Now he's relocated the lurkers to the left side of the map, and Cryok is going straight up... No, never mind, he's adding more factories. I was going to say, it looked like he was going straight up SK Terran, but... Nah, just adding more factories. Defiler Mound consume about 2/3 done. So Krak is not going to have the ability to really kill anything with this tank M&M push, but he does want to probably get on the map and get a little more space before that Consume and Defiler is finished. Just pick off another lurker. I don't know if there's been Protoss yet. There's been TBT, but I don't know if there's been PBT. Yeah, I don't know if there's been PBT yet. Here comes a bunch of Lings in the backside, but I think there's enough Marines here, especially if they go in the bunker. And yeah, Michael's just going to turn around. Like, I shouldn't take that on. Looking at upgrades, we got 1-1 against 1-0 for Michael. And Krak has murdered most of Michael's lurkers, which is not ideal. In fact, he's killed almost all of them now. More have been made the natural. Defiler's out now. Consume is done, and Michael getting a 4th base up. Krak's still on 2 bases, which might get a bit concerning here as he's about to mine out. In fact, he is mining out in his main.
Yeah, with 5 bases up now, Michael is looking pretty strong. Oh, yeah, radiation here. Nice radiation, and Michael's actually is going to go for this. He's just going to lose his entire army here. The team goes down, but it's too late. And Cryok, it's cost him so far 3 Marines to kill off nearly Michael's entire force, and actually with the irradiation.
Took off a lot of lings, and none of the Scourge connected with vessels. Saved all 3 of his vessels. And now we've got vultures pouring out for Crack with mines, which help deal with any possible obnoxious swarm-based counterattacks.
I was trying to say before that started was that Michael's economy is looking pretty solid right now, but Cryok is getting dangerously close to mining out in his main specifically, but also his natural. He should be expanding pretty freaking soon here. Oh, he has 2 command centers done in his base, just waiting to be floated out to make a road in.
Yeah, he does. That's pretty funny. And I guess if he holds that ridge, he can have decent control over them. There's actually a lot of little cute paths on this map.
It's odd. There are a lot of places that don't look like that you can walk over it and you can't walk over it.
Alright, and here comes Crack, rolling forward. Dark Swarm goes up. Michael retreats out of the Dark Storm, only to lose more stuff. That was a strange retreat path. And now Michael is going on the offensive. Crack is at a very, very large supply lead, but still, mining out is quite a possibility here. Laying as many mines as he can.
He just lost all of his science vessels.
Oh, so discouraged. Oh crap, I missed that. That sound of a vessel dying is pretty cool. Alright, so what do we got? We got 1-1. That's probably going to stop there on upgrades, and he is getting both of his armor. His +1 weapons is almost done. Oh, and Michael's running again with some wings. I don't know if he's just trying to get a feel from the army or what, but that didn't do much. And we've got a few lings being cloned out across the map to try and clear mines. One actually finds its way to the command center.
So, getting 2 more bases is really not going to accelerate his economy very much, just because as he gets these 2 bases up, his first 2 bases are mined out, he's still essentially on 2 bases. But he is making the transition. Barracks has been lifted off.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, Crack is running straight into lurkers, and he gets plagued, losing a lot of Marines. Okay, not that many, but now he's going to lose the rest of them probably. And Michael's going to push forward for a little more space, throws up Dark Swarm, lurkers burrowing underneath that, and Crack forced back a little bit. Crack now has the rest of his CC's up, so Crack back on OK Eco, Maynarding out a bunch of SCVs and beginning to get up a mech army. We can see there's some tanks back to the natural, some vultures, and he's got pretty good space control right now. I mean, Michael's really has less than half the map. Crack has more than half the map if you look at the positioning of mines and other such things. But Michael does have 5 bases.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of gas, too. He's got a lot of gas.
And because he's Zerg, he's not going to be mining out of those very quickly. I'm interested to see what his next steps is. It looks like the next step is just to add Ultralists. Very, very nice so far for Cryok. Cryok, if I'm Cryok, I'm really happy with my position. It should be a very scary time for Terran. When you're switching from bio to mech and your opponent has defilers up. That should be a really terrifying time. And he not only lived through it, he got the better end of a lot of engagements. So I think he's going to be in a really strong position. Michael may have a really, really hard time as these tanks start rolling out now.
And a vulture raid at the 3rd. The drone's completely undefended. He may lose every single drone at the 3rd. I don't know if there's much other... Oh, there's a Dark Swarm drop with lurkers going on over at Cryok's 3rd. In the meantime, Michael's 3rd has been completely raided. And there's also a lurker behind the natural mineral line of Cryok. So lurkers are wreaking some havoc. Cryok is apparently not Maynarded away from either of these bases. And Michael's also dropped the left-hand base. So Michael's dropped everywhere at once with lurkers right now. And so while Cryok is getting some SCV kills, Michael is delaying a ton of Cryok's mining 12 kills on the Lurker here. I can't see. There's 6 kills on the Lurker over here. There are Defilers to continually refresh the Swarm. He really needs Vessels. There's 14 kills on this Lurker. So in the span of, 10 seconds or whatever, Michael took out 40 or 50 of Crack's SCVs. It's a pretty devastating attack. And mining is completely stopped right now for Crack. Absolutely no mining going on.
Yeah, that's
really devastating.
That was a really cool move. Bringing these Overlords, and very specifically bringing one Lurker, one Defiler, and 2 Lings, so that he'd be able to continue to refresh them, so that he can delay mining time as much as possible. And that's a risk the Terran run, being on such a low number of bases with a high saturation count. Because the Lurkers are going to do a lot of damage, and it would mean that if mining is shut down, which is such a big mining cleared out though.
Crack is trying to mine with a Lurker still alive. Michael tries to reposition it, but it's not in the Storm. He wants the big shot, doesn't get it over at this base. And finally, mining these Lurkers are cleared out. But man, that was a big delay. And he's coming back for more Overlords loaded up with some Lings. And in the meantime, Michael has just popped a bunch of Ultralisks. 148 supply against 147, so that really did not go well for Crack. But he still has a pretty big army. Remember, that's 146 supply after just losing quite a large number of SCVs, so Crack's army size is still very high, although his economy is not going to be as strong as he'd like.
Get some Michael's third, and once again, just going to be able to take out every single drone. A lot of damage done by Michael.
Michael's charging in here for an attack with just ultras against a bunch of tanks. I'm not sure this is good for Michael. Yeah, it's really bad. I don't know what prompted that. That was not something. We got another Vulture raid over here on the right side. Lurker's coming back to clean this up. They've all got a few kills on them. So again, the third base of Michael is really getting raided with the refusal to make Sunkens. And at the top right, we have a dropship, but there's 2 skirts. Can he get any Vultures out of it? No! Crack doesn't react in time. So I think both players right now might be reeling a little bit on their eco. Yeah, there's not much mining from Michael right now. Okay, I guess the few bases. If he spreads out his natural, he'd have okay mining. But Crack has, it's a 4 SCV base, so I guess he's got saturation there. He's only got 3 SCVs at this base. And he has the bottom base, but again, no mining, so really very, very low income for Crack. Michael definitely has the better income, but neither player has what we'd call a big booming late game eco right now.
Man, losing all those Ultralisks was so huge.
Yeah, I don't
it
know
had
why
to have
he
been
did that. That was
misclick, or somehow didn't realize that the tanks were there or something. But
there wasn't even a Dark Swarm with that, I thought maybe if you drop the Ultras on the tanks or something, but that's usually accompanied with Dark Swarm or something,
Just Lings. Lings are going to detract a lot of the fire away, allow the Ultras
heck
to
with we've got an Overload Ling drop here. It's right on top of the Vultures. It might actually clean them off, so it's going to force Crack to lift off. And perhaps Crack is overextending a little bit, as obviously can't mine from this base right now. And another pair of Ultra Ling being sent over to the bottom left. I was going to say, maybe he could Ling drop the tanks right now, because there's, okay, he's finally got some Goliaths out. I was going to say, with no Goliaths, if all the tanks are sieged up, you can really just abuse that. But now there's a few Goliaths out. He can't just run in there with an Overlord and drop stuff. It should flash between current money and income for people asking about the bottom right display. It has a different look when it displays current income rates.
Yeah, the green number is how much they have done in the past 60 seconds. I know that the bottom left base feels like a lot safer base. It's a lot farther away from the opponent. It has nice chokes you can defend. But I think Cryok's better off going for that middle expansion. Just because he's mech now. He's going to be a slow lumbering thing. He wants to hold that position. And I think just the fact that it's close to all of his stuff means it's going to be a better opportunity for him to take a 5th than that bottom left.
Alright, what does Michael want to do with his? There's a large cluster of Overlords moving through the middle of the map, but they are all empty. So I don't know exactly what their purpose here is. They are headed somewhere. And Michael is running some lanes headlong into the army of Crack, and now this super empty drop.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What the? Okay. You seen this?
Where am I looking?
You seen that Queen Energy upgrade?
No,
You
is
seen
it
that
getting
pack
blue
of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 queens?
Where's the queen? I haven't seen spotted the queen pack yet.
They're at the natural.
Oh, they're right and hidden. Okay, yeah. So he's building up queens and doing a little bit of a fake drop. Actually, he's sucking away some irradiates. Michael 180 supply. Doesn't feel like 180 supply. I'm not seeing an army. I guess he's got some ultra ling, but I'm just worried for Crack, because Crack's eco is starting to recover, but he's only mining from like... He's mining from essentially one base, because he's got 6 patches over here, and he's got 4 patches over here, so he's mining from like one wind and cloud main. And that's the extent of Crack's mining right now, so he's really in a weak position economically. And while Michael doesn't have a ton of drones, he's still mining from a lot of different patches. And is trying to set up the bottom left too, so Michael's really getting into a strong economic position now. And with the queens coming out, that's going to be obnoxious for Crack to deal with as well.
Oh, it does look like Crack decided that he would go for that center expansion instead. As I said, I do like that option more than the bottom left, but just because I don't like expanding the bottom left doesn't mean we can allow Zerg to have it up. Crack really does need to make sure that that does not happen, because a split map is really nice for him, but allowing Zerg to have more expansions, things start to get a lot more difficult. But really, Michael's just waiting. He can't do anything until his queens have enough energy, which they just all
they
hit
all
one.
have enough for Broodling.
Yeah, they just got that now. So now that that's happened, he can start to think about
He
doing
can take
things.
out
but
almost
does he
all
get-
of these center tanks if he wants to now. So we'll see when these queens... They've moved around a little bit. He's moved out 4 of them already.
He's max, but I don't see his army anywhere.
There's some of it in the natural. I mean, he does have a lot of ultras. I'm seeing like a control group and a half of ultras, so a lot of his supply is in ultra.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And now he's going for the attack, but he hasn't brought all of his queens. Let's see if he can hit some good clone broodlings. Yeah, they're pretty darn good. So here come a bunch of ultras. So the bottom base now is exposed for Crack. There's still a lot of tanks on the high ground, though. He's going to need more broodlings or Darkstorm or something. And having learned his lesson from the previous attack, he takes out the tanks and then proceeds to retreat away. Crack is still allowed to mine from these bottom mineral patches, but again, only 5 or 6 SCVs are mining there. And Michael remains maxed during the duration of that entire attack.
Next 4 queens coming up, all with again with enough energy for broodlings. And here comes the army. So it looks like the second burst, same as the first, but the tanks are actually heading away from the expansion.
Siege, broodlings are being dropped right now, and a bunch of the tanks. Ultras are running in, but is it enough ultra? Probably not. Tanks are fairly decent against ultra. There really ought to be some lurkers and swarms with this. It doesn't cost that much gas to make a defiler. If you're going to make that many ultras, at least add a defiler or 2 in there. And, I mean, he is getting rid of tanks with broodling, but the ultras are really, really cost inefficient so far in this game for Michael. And if this game goes on longer, that could become a serious issue. As now Michael's only 156, and he's done damage to Crack. Crack's down to 108, which is starting to get to that point where you don't have that many tanks left. And it looks like Crack wants to push towards the bottom base of Michael, and this game is pretty tense right now. How many more queens does he have left? Okay, he's still got all his queens left, but they're a long ways away from having energy. They're only about 100. Michael is finding his bottom left base under siege. How is he going to respond? Is he going to counterattack the vulnerable base here in the middle of Crack, or is he just going to try to clean up the army outright? Crack is running up there. If he gives up the ramp, I don't think Michael can just clean it up. No, yeah, Michael decides on the counterattack route. There's only 3 or 4 tanks on the high ground. It is enough Ultra Link easily to bust through that. And he's not actually attacking the bottom base yet. Crack is...
Suicide some things in there. Yeah, I don't
And
think
here we go, Mike's going for it. He's trying to take out all these tanks. He's getting rid of a few of them. But tanks are pretty damn powerful against Ultra. And they go down in a flash. Now trying to Nidus Canal in a bunch of Lings. And there aren't supporting units, so that means tanks will destroy tanks. And the tank count is decreasing for Crack. He really needs to reinforce this if he wants this attack to work. I really wish we'd see a Darkstorm though, but I think there might just be enough reinforcements to clean up this tank mass, which will leave the middle base of Crack free and defender. Reinforcements are arriving. He actually, I think, has to hold here if he wants to win the game. Lurker is growing on the high ground.
It is maybe going to be enough to hold. There are still ultras coming down the ramp right now, but they are low on health. And now here come more links. Can they get on top of the tanks? They are forcing the tanks to shoot at each other, and Michael is streaming everything in that he possibly has. And Crag is target firing really nicely, though, staying on with these tanks, but he's down to just 2. And the situation is looking pretty good for Michael at this point. And now Lings are on top of these tanks, so these last 2 tanks are going to fall. And Crag reinforcing this position, but with only 3 tanks and no mining at the middle base, and Crag only has 1 base of mining left. And this is pretty close, actually. But Mike still has a lot of ultras. Still has 7 or 8 ultras. God, I wouldn't get for at least 1 Dark Swarm. Oh, the Broodlings make a reappearance, though. If there was ever a clutch time for it, it was now. Cryak has no tanks left over. And with that, I have a sneaky suspicion Michael may have just sealed the game for himself.
Yeah, Krark just doesn't have the money. He's relanded the command center, but no army to defend it means it's going to be shut down immediately. Here come 4 ultralisks.
Here comes a giant flank from like 3 sides. Units pouring in from Michael from everywhere. The command center is immediately lifted. The SCVs are being massacred. Not that there's a ton of them, but they are being massacred nonetheless. And Krak coming down to try and set up. But Ultraling charging forward. Is it enough to bust through the tanks this time around? It's going to be close. I don't know. They are all on top of the tanks. They are going down. I think it might just bust through with reinforcements. 1 tank might live. 1 tank might live. Nope. It gets Broodlings. And Krak is just about out of units. 138 supply, 254 supply. And we should be seeing a GG at any moment now in time. Michael still with a bunch of ultra back at home, just rolling. Maintain this bottom base. Maintain the bottom gas. And Krak, you might try one more time to mine from this bottom base, but I think there are just too many units from Michael to hold. I don't know why we see such a refusal to use Dark Swarm, but I think this is just going to be enough to pound through, mines included. The remaining vultures fall, a few links slipping into the mineral line to kill all the SCVs, and Krak is again pushed back. There are only vulture reinforcements at this point. And I think Michael is going to do what he was sent out to do and get the first point of the day for SAS. Get the clan war started off right and send a message to iFU that we are not to be messed with. And there it is, GG. SAS takes the first match of the day.
Man, that was a close game. It's a very close game.
That really was close. Like, if Michael would have botched that attack at the bottom left, I really think there's a chance Krak could have won because he could have secured that base and been mining from there. That center expo, though, proved to be really difficult to hold.
There are a lot of things that could have just barely changed that would have changed the outcome of that game.
Yeah, there were a lot
Smallest
of points
of which might have been
bounce.
just finishing off that the spawning pool.
The first big turning point to me, though, was the swarm drops in all 3 or 4 mineral lines simultaneously.
That was
delayed.
huge.
I mean, it killed, like I said, it killed 30 or 40 SCVs, and it delayed mining straight up for minutes at a time. That was 2 or 3 minutes of no mining.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that Michael could have won that game without that level of, without some kind of economic damage on that order.
So who are we going to have for our next lineup? It is going to be Draw from SAS against iFU SPX. So guys, it's been a while. Draw has long been away from the scene, but now he has awakened from his slumber and has returned to play. We'll see what kind of form he's in. He's been playing a lot of Zerg on the IC Cup ladder. I don't know what he's been up to on Fish, but he is playing Protoss here, or so I'm told, by this overlay. And I don't know anything about SPX. That name is not ringing a bell. So here we go. The Protoss hero. Draw in the bottom left-hand corner as our red Protoss. And in the bottom right-hand corner as our teal Terran, we have iFU SPX.
Like, should be a good match. Should be a good match. I like I like me some PvT. I like me some PvT between two high caliber players. And I like Coliseum. Should be an interesting map for this. Very open center means that Protoss will have a bit of an easier time finding engagements out in the middle of the map, but it also means that Terran can really easily lock in 3 bases, 4, 5, 6 bases. There are not that many troops you need to control 6 bases on this map. So where Protoss will have an easier time on this map finding engagements outside, SPX just may never get the opportunity.
Alright, so a depot going up, we might see a wall from SPX then, since that is placed in a walling position. Of course, this is a very easy map for a tight wall, and then you can make a completely tight wall here, including to lings and everything.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. If you can make a wall, there's no reason not to. It's just so good. If you can deny scouting information, that's great, but even if not, it doesn't take anything to build the wall, and it's could potentially win you the game if your opponent's cheesing. Signal's gonna go the wrong way. It's gonna be quite a while before he gets around.
Draw is center scouting. I guess doesn't want to die to BBS in his first game back, so gonna cruise through the center and probably on to the top right hand position. And then the critical question is, will he move left or down?
SPX started the supply depot and then canceled it, so he does have his tight wall finished even before its supply depot is done.
So where does he head next? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter either way though, because there's a wall, so he won't get any scouting information regardless of which direction he goes in. And the answer is going to be left. Or something, yeah, left. Gas is done. He's taken all of his SCVs off gas. A lot of times you take 2 off when you're doing FD, but I usually don't see all 3 off. I'll have to put them back on here at some point, because you need gas to get the machine shop, and you also... okay, never mind. He's got 1 background gas now. So he's at least going to have enough gas for the machine shop. We'll see how he has this planned out. I'm curious to watch this build from SPX. And meanwhile, it looks like Draw's just got Rain spinning, getting his first Dragoon.
Alright.
And SPX, oh, is he going to put down Command Center before Shop? I'm thinking yes. Okay. Alright, that explains why we had all the gas off, and he's going to have just enough gas to get his Shop. So this is pretty cool from SPX. It's obviously thought out. I don't know if it's a build I'm familiar with, and I don't know what it's vulnerable or not against, but I like it so far. It's at least creative.
It's a really... yeah, it's good, and it seems really strong on this map in particular. You can't get a... if you do a wall like this, it just defends your main on most maps, but because we're on Coliseum, it means that he has a completely tight wall that also is going to protect his natural. It means that he can wait a little while, and he's going to take some damage on the barracks, but he just doesn't care, because the barracks has...
The only thing, perhaps, on second thought, I don't like about this wall, especially with the slow siege, is that if Draw puts the goons on the high ground, he can take down the top 2 depots with no difficulty with the range goons, particularly if he was doing a more aggressive opening. So we'll see how the microwaves here from SPX. He's got to kind of repair these SCVs as the goons show up. He's going to have a lot of pressure on this wall until that tank comes out. It is now out, though, so it's going to force Draw back. Trying to pick off an SCV, or maybe the tank, but he pulls it back nicely.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see if he does take the high ground.
Yeah, Skyline thinking along my line, saying that he doesn't like the early CC and feels that it would have a lot of trouble against like 2-gate power goon, or God forbid like 3-gate, and I could definitely see that because you're delaying your tank a bit and siege and whatnot. Draw's really kind of derping around with his goons. I don't know if that was intentional to bait the tank or if they were actually just padding problem. Now we've got siege. Oh, that looks like a good siege spot. Always got to be a little careful against early goons. And yep, as expected, goes to the high ground now, continuing to pressure the wall. And he's doing a good job here. You know, he's kind of essentially getting the effect of goons pressuring the bunker of Iraq CC by doing this. As SCVs constantly are off to repair, and a lot of minerals also spent on the repair job as well.
Skyline may have doubts about it, but I think, well, I guess his doubts are that it was unsafe. But since Draw didn't go power he didn't use the extra 200 plus minerals to build a bunch of Marines to put in a bunker, and got up a faster expo. It's going to be in a better economic situation than he was going to previously, and I don't think an FD would have done him a whole lot of good. That's what he really gave up here.
And SPX again opting for the very fast armor. He got that around 35 supply. It's almost done here at 6 minutes into the game. So he's going to have really fast +1 attack.
Something else he's not doing. Ooh, a Goliath. Really?
Worried about shuttle maybe? But there's just obs.
Yeah,
there's the +1. It's starting now.
I guess it would have to be for the shuttle because he only has a single Marine and he's not building any turrets. Just in case there is something, he doesn't want the shuttle to be able to just hover. Interesting, though. Oh, no. He's now getting the... okay, 2 Goliaths, 3 Goliaths, and the Goliath range upgrade. Are we hard countering, blind hard countering base carrier?
Blind hard countering something that Draw's not doing?
I know, that's the blind part. I don't know. I understand one Goliath. I don't know if I agree with one Goliath, but I understand one Goliath. But 3 Goliaths and a range upgrade? This early?
The shuttle, the obs will be denied, but there's not scans, so can't possibly be for obs denial.
Yeah, you can't get the obs. Or a shuttle. And it's like, what would the shuttle bring anyway? If the shuttle brings DT, he's still screwed.
Probably Reaver. That's what he was worried about, Reaver follow-up, but...
I guess? That's a really specific thing to be worried about.
And now Draw moving out across the map with a lot of goons. Of course, there is no mines on the map, no vultures yet even, so he can move goons about as freely as he wants. And Draw heading to the top. I don't know if he's just looking for bases or what he's doing with this probe at top left. It'll be interesting to see.
So, yeah, the 3rd command center is almost done, but he's going to have a hard time getting it out there. It's going to force an engagement. Draw is very clearly looking to shut down that command center from going up, and it might be hard for the tanks to approach. They have to go up to high ground.
Oh, okay, I see why Draw took the base up there. He just didn't want to take the closer base to Terran, so he's opting to take the other main. And it looks like right now Draw just sitting a bunch of goons on the high ground, just going to try and be as much of a pain as possible, denying SPX expanding, slowing it down. And without any vultures out, which he's seen with his obs, that there's no vultures, he can safely put every single goon he wants out here, and he doesn't have to worry about anything in his main. He's getting his Arbiter tech up right now, Tribunal about half done. And if we look at supplies, Draw's got the usual 20 lead. And, alright, SPX knows the goons are up there, isn't having a blonde moment of floating CC into a ton of goons. And SPX, creeping his way up, shoots down one of the obs. The Goliaths do come in handy for that. And is just going to creep forward, but, I mean, just the presence of Draw's goons, look how much they're delaying the CC. I mean, it's been done for a while, and SPX is just having to slowly creep his way up. Draw's getting out of this exactly what he wants. And a big probe transfer from Draw, who is still just on 4 gates, but that is fine. Terran right now is only on... oh, he's on going to 4 facts, and our first vultures of the game are beginning to make their appearance. And Draw now actually has changed his mind. He's going for it, and there are Goliaths shoot down the shuttle, and Draw's shuttle derps hard, only drops 2 zealots. He turned around the wrong way. but still the goon spread is good enough, and of course they're on the high ground, and massive setback here for SPX. He's going to lose almost all of his tanks. I think Draw maybe could have taken that, but look, what do we have here? Slip, slip, sneak, sneak. Do we have scan? We do have scan. But he may have just spent them to get rid of the observers. So,
Still scan at the
scan, DT goes down, but gets 2 more tank kills for Draw. And obviously really, really delays that CC landing. That is really a vicious delay. And honestly, I think Draw's going to be really liking his position now. And he might have enough units even to go for this again once a few more get over here. Oops. Or they're just shooting the pylon. Never mind, just shooting the pylon. And oh my god, these goons using way too close to these Dragoons. Draw moves forward, 2 goons die. But it might still be enough. No, maybe not quite. I hear DT. DT gets in there, and Dra's trying to come in from both sides, but it's not perfectly coordinated. And there are a lot of vultures now to clean up these zealots. And most of the goons do suicide this time. Still, though, it's 11 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, and the CC's not on the ground. Draw leads only by 10 supply. That was a lot to throw away. But the previous attack was good, and the CC has been greatly delayed from the landing.
Yeah. The Draw with a very map specific strategy. He would not be doing this kind of stuff on Fighting Spirit, but just because he realized how hard it's going to be to do anything to the Terran once this base gets up. Oh, another DP coming in. Slash and back off, I guess. Realize how hard it's going to be to do anything to the Terran once they take the high ground at the 3rd. And realizing that it's going to be hard for the Terran to take this base, and you can fit a lot of goons in here because it's such a large 3rd base. Really affecting stuff. Now, the Arbiter had to be delayed for that, but that's fine. Oh, we know the other one out. There we go. I still think he
And you just got kind of quiet. Draw going up to 11 gates now, putting up a few in the other main, taking his 4th base. And finally we see the fact count beginning to increase for SPX, who is getting to 7 factories now. And sending a lot of vultures out on the map right now. One goon kind of walks into a vulture trap and dies. And Draw still has slow lots. When is the speed going to kick in? He's actually only just started the speed. But Draw's army nicely in position there to block off those harassing vultures. And everything is suddenly on seeds for SPX. Is he thinking it's time to attack? He does have 2-1. But Draw is 164 food. He's going to have 2nd Arbiter out right now. He's got enough energy on this Arbiter for a stasis. It doesn't have stasis research yet, though. It's about 2/3 done. Probably be done by the time SPX gets over there. Oh, yeah, Draw has 3 Arbiters. It's going to be a lot of Arbiters, so that part's nice. He's going to have really good tech for fighting this stuff. His speed lots are almost done.
They're getting dangerously close to each other. DT... mindful?
And we've got a 5th base coming up for Draw. Here comes the attack from SPX. Very large Terran army. Draw's army seems a little bit disorganized. We'll see how good the stasises are, though. He's got a lot. He should have more than that, right? Or neither of these Arbiters, no, they don't quite have enough energy yet. But Draw's doing a pretty good job with his army, although he's running out of zealots. I think we'll see him back off here in just a moment. Or is he going to commit for this, waiting for another stasis to come on so he can stasis these back 3 tanks? Yeah, there we go. And Draw continuing to move forward. Now he is fighting mostly goons against vultures and Goliaths. Is it going to be enough to punch through? It looks like it is. Oh, great mind drag there. And yeah, that's about as good as you can ever hope to have a trade go for as Protoss. With Draw's reinforcements, he'll be able to clean this up. We can see that SPX is camping it. He wants to hold on to these tanks, but it doesn't seem he's going to have fast enough reinforcements to do that. And he is only on 7 facts still. And Draw trying to take out the recall. He's not target firing the tank, which is suddenly dematrixed. But lots more units coming down from Draw. And with only 3 tanks, I don't think the aggression, continuing the aggression will work for SPX. As there's just not enough reinforcement. Oh, there's a few more tanks than I thought now. But Draw is going again. He does have 2 stasis on these Arbiters, which is going to prove very effective if he wants to use them. And there's no Vultures here all of a sudden. And it looks like SPX might be in the process of getting macrolled at this point by Draw. Draw's going to move back for a sec, but SPX really committing to this. And with so few tanks on the map, against quite a few gateways. That's 12 gateways right now on the map from Draw. Zealot's going in there, clearing out mines, pushing forward with the Dragoons again, and it's enough of a surround to take these out. And SPX is slowly being pushed back to his base. Draw camping this stasis a little bit as more units come out, and it looks like Draw might even be looking to take a 6th base also.
Really well executed by Draw, playing the third Terran for so long. But even after Terran got it up, it's not as if he got it up and then was even with Draw. He got it up after Draw already had his 4. And now Draw has a 5th. It's 5 bases versus 3.
And SPX is just not giving up the aggression. I'm really surprised by this. I think he has to go back and wait for a bigger army, but just leaving this small army out here to just kind of get eaten. And I think it's going to get eaten here in a sec. I thought so last time, but this time Draw's really regrouped. His army looks to be 3 or 4 control groups, and there's just 5 or 6 tanks here, maybe 7 tanks from SPX. I mean, the upgrades are good. Actually, they're not as good as I thought. I thought he was getting 2-1. Oh, Draw might recall, though. He's halfway to 3-2. He's got everything pretty clumped. And there's an Arbiter. We've got a recall. There's no mines. Oh, sweet lord. I mean, it's almost mined out where he recalled, but it's still going to be pretty annoying. And the response from SPX is to unsiege everything and go back home to try and defend this. There's a few tanks now sieged on the high ground defending. Will he lose the command center? Probably not, but he might lose some SCVs. Although actually Draw's moving forward. Oh, he really wants to target down the command center. He's committing for it. Does he have a stasis to put down? It seems the answer to that is no. And now the Dragoons are struggling with everything. But again, he pulled SPX back. He didn't really kill a lot with that recall, but hey, it just gives him more time. And that's more time Saspez is defending and not being able to take more bases. Although he does have a command center over here all of a sudden. And Draw has 183 supply, so pretty close to max now. Even adding a few Templar. This army and still has this Arbiter down here. He might recall again. He's got 150 energy. Did he switch the Arbiters out? What? Like, how? Here we go, another recall! This time 2 Arbiters brought in for this recall. He's got 2 stasis he can put down. 2 stasis. Is he going to use them, though? Is he going to use them? I don't know. So far, not yet. He might as well. He recalled the 2 Arbiters. Unless he wants to, like, continue the recall. I hope this recall lasts long enough to do more stuff. And this is being a very efficient recall. There's no tanks that have come back yet. It's just been Vultures, and they've been almost completely donations. Now the recall being a little less efficient. These Arbiters don't quite have enough energy yet. But this vessel, I don't know why it has EMP the Arbiters. It probably should do that. Okay, one of the Arbiters at least getting EMP'd. And the other 2 are hitting. Yeah, he wants to recall more. Just do a never-ending cycle of recalls to win the game. And he might be enough ahead that that's going to work just fine. Yeah, here we go. Recall round 3. Recall!
And this is really brutal now for SPX. SPX does not have the biggest army to begin with. It's costing him way too much. I mean, in terms of raw mineral, he might be coming out of these barely ahead, but it just doesn't matter for Raw, who has so many more bases. Really nice storm going off, hitting a lot of tanks. And he may clean it up yet again.
I was going to laugh so hard. The DT brings the command center to 120 health. He almost lost the command center at the top base to a DT.
Still going to lose it because he can't get an SCV
up
there.
That's rough.
There's only 1 mining base for SPX. You just can't make units fast enough anymore. Alright. Draw taking a 6th base now. And still...
And he's got enough energy for yet another recall if he feels like it.
Good. Does he have an army for it somewhere?
Yeah, kind of. It's sort of spread out. He's got a clump at the top and a clump at the bottom.
Oh, up at top of the totem.
Wonder if he remembers that Arbiter down there. I don't know if he does. Alright, so Draw looks to be regrouping his army. Either he's going for another recall. He's found the Arbiter now. Here he comes. Wait, no, he's going to recall the third this time. Recall right in the mineral line to kill all the mining. Recall! And recalls yet another Arbiter. Storms all the SCVs, so yeah, there we go. So much for mining. So now he's got 80 supply and no mining. He's going to lose the CC as well.
Yeah, that should be GG for FPX.
And there it is. GG. SAS leads 2-0.
Super crisp play by Draw. Really, lots of elements that I like, specifically for that map. Lots of really good things from him. Well,
yeah, that was pretty solid. Just delayed the CC. Pretty just solid game. Delayed the CC. Pretty good engagement against the push. Then perhaps SPX overcommitted in sending units on the map, but Draw obliterated that, and then he just got a wonderful cycle of never-ending recalls going. I don't know. You're in channel OPSTL MVP. I'll give you one guess. It's the same players, so the skill should be pretty similar. Obviously, where we're at right now in TLS, you should be seeing the stronger of these guys, but the same guys that play here play in TLS. The average level might be a little lower because there's a few teams that are weaker and might have more guys that are like kind of B-B instead of A- skill, but quite comparable. And now I have our next matchup, which is going to be Julia. Is that Julia, like the Polish Julia, against Tama, who is formerly Reps?
Yep.
If so, I thought Julia used to be on LRM, but perhaps this changed to SAS to play on Outsider.
Alright.
What was I going to say? Julia just advanced in TLS, right? So Julia just went to round of 8 of TLS, if I'm remembering correctly. And Tama, I want to say, is like a B-rank player for Reps, so I think Julia's at a pretty solid advantage. But we'll see what we have. So spawning over on the left side as our Teal Zerg, it is SAS Julia. And in the top position as our White Protoss, we have Tama.
Alright, PVZ on Outsider. Huh. Okay. So, SAS up to 2-0 right now, looking in a very strong position, but iFU still has a lot of their heavy hitters left. Still, I think they have pretty much all of their best players still to go, where SAS has used some of their best players. Michael and Draw, as you've alluded to earlier, not particularly active as of late, but still horribly strong players, have both in their own right been considered the strongest of their races at one time or another. So, but they really need to turn around here. SAS's roster is too good to think that iFU can go in 4-0 down the road and close it out. And so definitely should be looking for Tama, who using the Reps tag.
Oh, Tama's not going to open Forge FE. He's going to open with at least a gateway. And Julia went overpool.
I tend to see one base tech stuff on Outsider.
This is not one base tech,
tech.
though.
Nope. No for the 2K. Alright. Well, I'm gonna go 2 gate against going to get 2-gate, really, if we're just looking at it, it almost feels as if you're going 2-gate because you're feeling a little scared. Like, 2-gate doesn't have any super big advantage on this map that does any other map. As far as 2-gate goes, this is pretty
I
standard.
think the rust distance is a little less. This is going to be pretty nice, though, for Tema, as he's actually delaying Julia's hatch even further. And one hatch of Lings doesn't hold 2-gate very well. I mean, you can defend it, but, you know, you have to be a little more precise with your micro or put down Sunkens, and it's just less larva to build drones at the same time. So the more he delays this hatch, the better this is going to be. And, of course, if a hatch doesn't get down for long enough, it gets into a situation where you can't put down a Sunken, as you usually want to put down at least one Sunken with dealing with 2-gate. So that's going to be pretty nice for him. But there are Lings out. He's got to be careful if he's going to send his first Zealot out immediately. There's only 4, though, so a Zealot and a Probe can deal with 4 Lings. He's bringing a second Probe as well. Probably going to try to use the first Probe to block Sunkens. And now he sees the Lings are coming straight for his base. So he's going to have to go back, chill on the ramp, wait for his next 2 Zealots to pop out, and then he can move back out with 3 Zealots. Against the 12th hatch, you can move out after the first. And Julia is responding to this with gas. It's going to be a long time before the hatchery's done, though.
Alright. Oh. Looks like the Zergling. Ooh. Managed to pick off the probe. Nice little move there, getting that. And the hatchery, the hatchery was significantly delayed, but Zealots haven't made any progress. Now finally heading towards it. Are they going to be in time? As you said, it's very critical of whether they can get that Sunken up or not. It looks like the Zealots might be fighting without the Sunken there. There are 2 more on the way. It's a big question right now for Tama. How long does he want to wait for these Zealots?
This is really rough for Julia. He's unable to put down a Sunken. He's literally defending this with Mastling. His eco is really bad. I think Julia's just going to go all in after this, though. Like, because he's made so many Lings. I think he was hoping that Tama might overcommit with the Zealots so he could get a really good surround and then just go on to wreak havoc at home. But I'm a little worried for Julia, who is getting... Wait, now he's got enough gas to do something, but he doesn't have enough minerals to do anything. He stopped gas mining at 160.
Nope. Well, pushing a probe through up at the top. Could be for scout, could be for proxy. Have to keep an eye up on that. But yeah, both players building a lot of early game units, but no engagement yet. And pushing.
Someone's asking what a Joker is. No, it's not a guy that's going to come out and build 2 Stargate scouts on one base. It's just a player that basically can act as a substitute if there's issues with walkover, and if there isn't issues with walkover, then he can be like a surprise player that comes in. So, like, let's say you were prepared for PvZ, but then you sub in the Joker who's a Terran, it can kind of throw off that. So that's what the Joker is, and the Ace is the Ace player. And it is going to be a 2-hatched lair from Julia, so we're going to see really fast Meta probably. Slight chance of Lurker, but I expect more often than not it's going to be Meta in this situation.
Yeah, I think Muta's a little bit more likely than Lurker's right now.
See, the Tama's pushing a few of these Lings back from Julia. He's smartly kept a few Zealots on the ramp, being worried about the potential of a run-by. There's no speed, and this is exactly the engagement that Julia wanted, as he is murdering the Zealots now of Tama, showing very nice Ling control as he takes them out, losing only a couple of Lings. Great trade there in terms of efficiency, and Julia has actually put up a 3rd base now. Sending a drone over there, chasing away a probe that has come through to scout. It's seen the lair, which is now done, and it is indeed going to be the Spire.
And the Hydra Den. Interesting. So he's going to be getting both of them. I'm surprised he has the money to not be forced to pick, but he's going to, I don't know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Possibly just getting the Spire for Scourge, but I'd be a little bit surprised by that.
Yeah, no, maybe he'll go into standard play, as he's still only on 1 gas. He's only got a Hydra Den.
Yeah. Ooh, another really good engagement for Zerg here, picking off a few more Zealots, and another, and another.
He actually
and this might be enough. Yeah.
He's committing to it, he's close. He's going to get a surround on this last Zealot and take it out pretty easily. Probes are now pulled the drill, but the drill's slightly missing. Had the drill been a quarter second earlier, it would have been right on the money. A cannon goes up, Probe's trying to block that. That is a lot of Probe. Okay, he's going to be okay. Although Julia is sending a few more Lings up to reinforce this. Should pull the Probes back. No, the micro is not good enough from Tama, but it's down to just 2 Lings. But A few more coming in. The Zealots are really wandering around, though, taking a lot of hits unnecessarily. One Zealot's is going to run out on the map. And obviously this is never good because you lose a lot of mining time when this happens, when you're constantly drilling back and forth with probes. And 2 lanes have snuck into the back and picked off a few unsuspecting probes. Pretty nice multi from Julia to be controlling lanes in a few places. There's now a cannon up though to defend that, and a large reinforcement coming out though with a bunch of speedlings. And the mutas are coming out now. The Corsairs getting scourged. Zealot going down here and just bleeding Zealots. Teameague is. There's more than enough Zealots though now to hold off these lings, especially with the support of that cannon, as long as he controls them nicely. But it looks like Julia might just run to the back expo, where probes in the back have been going, or lings in the back have been going to work. And there's only 1 cannon right now. Of course, there's only 3 muta. But there's no cannons in the back expo, and only 1 Corsair.
Third just picked it off.
Oh, he's gonna lose the back nexus. That's not good.
Looking like it. One thing going right for Teameague right now is that he is getting a lot of Overlord pickoffs. Zerg's been supply block for a while, but he just built a huge pack of Overlords, so even picking off that one's not going to quite supply block him. And now he's just going to engage the Corsairs, recognizing the 2 Corsairs, not very scary, but now it's 3 and 3
Corsairs against 3 muta
+1.
is not a winning fight. Julia needs to leave.
Yeah.
Julia, oh, never mind, it's you asking the questions.
And alright. Almost manages to snipe that assimilator, but not quite. So Teameague will be able to continue to mine gas. The Citadel's done, but he hasn't. I don't think he has had the chance to research anything out of it or throw down a Templar, perhaps if that was his ultimate plan. This harass right now is really effective. He still has a bad economy. But he is expanded. He has expanded. He has a 3rd base. The drones mining at it. He is stabilizing and really preventing Teameague from getting anywhere in this game right now. Oh, engaging again with the Mutalisks.
Picks up a Corsair though.
Yeah. Oh. This is really scary for Teameague. Teameague's just going for it. Going to ignore the Mutalisks and just charge with the bots.
Oh, he's probably intending to bring the Corsair at some point, but he's got to be really careful if he does. Oh, he's splitting up his Zealots a little bit. Julia's adding a Sunken at least one of the bases, but not at this base. And unfortunately, this is the base that the muta haven't gone to. So these Zealots are going to do some damage. These drones need to evacuate, and they do. Only 1 going down.
Cute move by Teameague, sending half the Zealots one way, half the other, knowing the Mutalisks were only going to chase 1. But it's not going to be enough to get him the hatchery. And as you said, only 1 drone kill. Stops mining for a little while. I don't think that's a big enough reward. He is sending 4 more Zealots. Now back to the natural. I guess just toying with the fact that the Mutalisk can only be at one spot at a time. But I'm not sure that this damage is worth it. His economy is so bad, it is really costly to be losing a control group of Zealots.
The Zealots are running by into the main right now, and their target is drones, evidently. Or perhaps non-micro target. A few lings running in here, harassing this Nexus. There are 2 Zealots, but Teameague's going to move them nicely back. And he's going to target down the Spire, and the Spire is going to fall. 80 health, 40 health, 30 health, 20 health, gone! Doesn't get any drones, but he does get rid of the Spire, so that's going to be an end to Scourge and Muta, which might give Teameague a window for air dominance. He's kept a lot of his Corsair alive. He's got 5 of them or so around. And Julia sending in another round of lings. Will he target the Nexus? Or will he go for the cannon? No, he's going for the cannon. I hear an Archon being morphed at the top of the ramp, though. It's got to finish fast if he wants to save the Nexus. There is a major probe massacre going on. And the probes, for whatever reason, don't go back to the main. They go into the muta. But the muta fighting the Corsair, not a good fight for them. I don't think they can take it. Actually, there's only 3 Corsairs left. No, there's 4 left, 5 left. I don't think they can take it. The Archon is out now, but the Nexus is getting low on health. The muta are being destroyed. The Archon, though, is surrounded. It will go down, but reinforcing Zealots will clean this up. And Teameague barely holding onto the Nexus. Although in that trade gets rid of all of Julia's muta. But behind this, Julia is slowly getting an eco, and Teameague is slowly losing an eco. A few Hydras out from Julia to defend the Corsairs now. Will probably still continue to pick up Overlords a little bit, knowing that he's eliminated the muta. And Julia continue to send lings up with just a few Hydra.
Oh, he already threw away 1 Corsair and letting his other Corsairs get pretty low here. really taking big risks to try to get Overlord kills, but it's the only advantage he has right now is an air dominance. You want to take advantage of it. Hydralisks throwing their lives away against the Zealots. Man, both players just being so aggressive, just trying to take the little advantage they have in this game and really push it home.
So low eco. So low eco.
The Overlord. No, they're just going to.
And Julia at this point is just kind of going somewhat all. I don't even know if this is all in though, because the eco is pretty equal. I guess it's all in because Protoss still has 2 bases. Kind of strange. This is a very, very low eco game. I mean, Julia's at 35 supply, 12 minutes into a game. Oh, a DT comes out. Clutch DT!
Oh, man.
Flying just the time he wanted.
Where's the Overlord?
Oh my god, Gecko. Dream match. Justice against Julia BM match. Oh, DT. Third base might die. Third base gonna die. Is he gonna go defend it or not? Yeah, okay, third base could live. No, it can't live. It'll die.
There's a Hydralisk coming back.
Bump. And goodbye. But cannons are being added from Tama, who may hold out and end up beating Julia. I thought Julia was gonna win, just kind of eco up and whatever. Then Julia decided to go all for it. And unfortunately, Tama's defense has been pretty textbook and pretty good.
Yeah, losing all those Mutalisks is pretty big.
Overlord! But the Hydra come and Overlord dies anyway. All of Julie's attempts, he's getting everywhere just too late. Just too late to save the Spire, just too late to save the third, just too late to save the Overlord, just too late to all in with the cannons. And now a decently scary army for Tama relative to what Julie has rolling out. I mean, it's only 6 or 7 Hydras against almost a full control group of Zealot Archon.
Yeah, he's researching lurkers. There is no Robotech, certainly not OBS for Protoss, so I guess lurkers are the last-ditch effort here. Those lurkers really.
The lag, my Hydra wouldn't respond fast enough to defend the hatchery. He's got to buy enough time for a lurker if he wants to live. Actually starting to get some SimCity up, we might live this anyway. Still got a ways to go before we get lurker though, and Tama decides, I'm going to go home, but I'm going to send 1 DT. But the Overlords are nicely positioned, so this DT can't do a thing.
Alright. Well, he definitely bought himself enough time to get the lurkers out. Is there Robotech? He really does need those odds. He has Storm. That is something. He did research Storm, and he has 3 High Templars that will have energy. So he might just be able
It's halfway done at the natural.
Alright. So, I guess obs aren't that far away. Man.
Ooh, can he snipe off Templar? Nope. Doesn't want to go for it. Yeah, draw pack. Draw pack is a really good research. I usually get that in the early game, in case you need it. Backdoor expansion for Tama. Almost back up again. Just gonna have him in a pretty nice economic position. And Julia is in a really, really bad one.
Yeah, I think that Zerg... Man, it really feels like Zerg just needs to expand. Drop is almost done. So... Nah. Fuck it, too late to expand. Just go. Just go for the drop. All in on the drop. No speed. Of course not speed. That would be too easy to get speed. Just do it. Here we go.
I like how he's picking up his units like inside of Protoss.
Yeah. I don't know if that was inside. That was pretty close.
It's really close though.
It was pretty close. But here comes the cannon. The cannon.
Alright, so he knows about it now.
Yeah, he's not going to charge down the cannon. He's just going to park outside of range.
Which
not
won't
go
do anything because there's an OBS already out.
Yeah, that... Ooh.
Gonna try and drop behind the minerals here, but a cannon can see it and he can storm it instantly. Julia's probably just like, oh, well, this sucks.
You get 1 Corsair alive, barely. So,
Storm!
wow.
Maybe premature. 2 lurkers. Not many probes there from Tama. Doesn't even care hardly.
Storm brings Corsair down to 3 hit points. Oh, no, that one killed it.
Drop being reinforced though at the back door. And Lurker trying to burrow on the high ground. Can he get off a good spine? No, he cannot. Cannon's going down. Backdoor next might fall. Actually killing a lot of probes though. Protoss units though are coming. They are coming. Can he target fire down the Nexus? No, he's target firing down the pylons, unfortunately, which is probably not the best target. He goes in now trying to snipe the Templar. He gets one. Oh, he gets the Obs. That's not a bad target to snipe. Now he's getting one of the Templar, and the DT is going to fall soon too. The Zealots. Oh, the Archon morphing on the ramp. I thought it was going to block the Zealots, but they've got enough room to get in now. Can he snipe the Nexus? Oh, the Lurkers can't do it though.
There's no
He's just
Obs.
going to run around with the Hydra, rinking around the Nexus. Pick the Hydras up. Run away! Saves 3 of them. Oh, drop them on the other side. Be an asshole. Be an asshole. Yeah,
There's still no
super
Obs.
asshole.
These Lurkers are going to be able to do a lot of damage here.
Yeah, the
The
Julia's
next
bleeding units
now.
to the front of these 4 goons. All these, like, Lings suiciding into these goons at the front. Format of this, yes, is best of 7, though. Not best of 5. Best of 7 ace match. With Joker. Potential.
Oh, that one Zealot. Is he going to get out? Nope, not good. Oh, it is going to get out. So,
This game
well,
is absolutely absurd.
pretty
Julia
successful.
is a little
Yeah.
bit back into this now. Julia was like 98% dead. Now Julia's like 55% dead.
I mean, he
Like
just
Julia
started.
has an army that I don't necessarily think that Teameague can kill. It would at least come down to control if Tama wanted to break this. And Julia's got a 3rd base now, and Tama only has 2, which is okay for Zerg.
Yeah, he just started mining at that. So it's not as if he's anywhere close to having economic lead here. It's just kind of not evenish.
Alright, so Julia is going in for an attack on just these goons. Actually, this Protoss army is a little bigger than I thought. It's going to be pretty important for Julia to win this fight. Can he snipe the Ops? No, there's nothing to stop it. This is a bad spot for Julia to engage, and he is looking a little more dead than he was 30 seconds ago.
Oh, that was horrible.
Kind of close. Tama must have very... Whoa. Oh, Lurkers above the ridge! And they get shots off! They're going to get a few probes, but not that many. No, they're only going to get 2 probes. But there's a little more delayed mining time. Julia needs to make Lurkers or some shit, though. There's a pretty scary Protoss army at his natural. Make Sunkens or something. I don't even know. Oh, Lurkers in the main mineral line. Only 1 kill, though. The Lurker's not doing much. And here come the goons. They're going to start targeting, firing down stuff. They're moving forward. Oh, but he snipes the Obs! There's 2 more Obs in the back, though. Not as dramatic as I made it sound. And I think that Tama is just going to muscle his way through, because, yeah, Protoss does that shit sometimes.
Yeah, man. That one engagement out in the middle of the map. Oh,
Yeah, that didn't work out as well as
Yeah.
I thought. There were actually, I didn't realize there were quite that many goons, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, the numbers look bigger than I thought.
oh man, that's gonna be it. If he didn't throw away his army there, if he had used it defensively instead of offensively, he would have had a chance. Might have been able to defend that, but just had nowhere near enough units to stop Rotoss. Did really good damage. There's nothing mining in the main. Shut down that mining base for Tama, but it won't matter because Julia will have no mining base.
No, it will not. Decent storm, yeah, second storm's kind of a whiff, but still all the Hydra melting anyway. And there are some lings being made, but they're lair lings, and I think there's still enough Dragoon that Julia just can't get units out fast enough to stop this. And Julia leaves with a flat, angry face. And Tama puts iFU on the board.
He didn't explicitly blame him for lag. That's progress. Progress, Julia.
Man, that game was back and forth and back and forth. Like, it looked like Julia was in trouble from the 2-gate, and then Julia looked like he was going to break through with, like, his all-in, and then he was behind, and then he did the drop, and it looked close again, and then his army died, and, oh, that game was all over the place. Elmaster plus Birdie is going to be Pro League, by the way. And let's see, do we have another banner? Not quite yet. Should be coming up though soon. Give us the real Julia. I'm waiting on my overlay for the there it is. Let's see who plays next. I wonder if we'll see Scan today. We did not see Fangzi from SB. Whoa, Team Liquid roots for SAS. That's biased stuff right there.
Liquid. Oh.
Wait. Wait a sec. Oh, did I not rename it right, or did I? No, I renamed it right. Maybe it just didn't update right. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. That looks better. It is going to be Lokdog against Eon Zerg.
Alright. Alright.
On Overwatch. So Eon Zerg definitely favored here. I mean, Lokdog is not bad, but Eon Zerg is quite the beast and pretty active. He's played a respectable amount on Fish, and he's decently ranked on the IC Cup ladder as well. I think he's up there around B or B plus now. Or, I guess B minus or B. I think people are only at B. So in the top left-hand corner, as our brown Zerg from iFU, we have Eon Zerg. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the white Protoss from SAS, we have Desakwe, otherwise known as Lokdog.
Alright. So... Oh, the spoilers? The spoilers? There will be no scan?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Alright. Something that...
Proxy hatch, baby. This drone is out really fast. Now it's being turned to bat. What the hell? I don't know what the hell's going on. A drone just like took the hell off, and now it's like, on second thought, I'm gonna go back home. So that's a weird start for Eon, and definitely gonna be a lot of lost mining. Is this meant to make? What is the deal with this drone? Is he gonna make like a hidden 9 hatch? I don't even know. Yeah. Maybe it's gonna be hidden 9 hatch.
He has no minerals, so... And he just built his Overlord now at 9 supply. I don't... Okay, so we saw Dark do this last time, where he saved up and then couldn't find his opponent, and then ended up just playing Standard. But this is a 2-player map. Eon Zerg knows exactly where his opponent is. He just changed his mind. It's like, he just had a freaking come to Jesus moment. He's like, you know what? Cheesing is wrong.
Oh,
I should not partake in the evil arts of cheesing. Let's play an honorable game. And then
an honorable game with a disadvantage. That's a pretty decent resource disadvantage when you send a quarter of your economy on tour.
Eon Zerg, all of a sudden like the best mannered player in all of StarCraft.
Or this is like super meta, knowing it's a 2-player map and he doesn't want to get his 12 hatch blocked, just send it out super late. And yeah, whoever said the score's 2-1, you're spot on.
He actually just played Desakwe a lot on this map, so he knows that's the exact spot where Desakwe cheeses. So he had to send the drone scout to check that, and then he immediately turned around. Alright, so he is at least going to hide the hatch. So Desakwe should be confused as to why the spawning pool is so late, yet there's no expo.
Alright, so I think I mentioned it earlier, but I guess nice little fact about Lokdog if you weren't watching, he did beat Dove on stream. Of course that's PvT, and Dove is rusty. I don't know exactly how rusty, but still a win over Korean X-Pro means there should be at least some form here from Desakwe, but we'll see how his PvZ is. And oh, let's look over at the hatch from Eon. Or Psych. This is the game of like fake stuff. I'm gonna cannon rush you. No, I'm not. Besides, on second thought, that he's not going to. I actually would have been fine with him building a cannon, like even in range of the hatchery, because Eon would have probably pulled a lot of drones, and that's a long ways to pull a bunch of drones. Like that probably could have worked out, and then just like cancel the pylon.
Yeah. That probably would have actually been really smart. Anyway, I was going to say was that the thing that I've historically always been most impressed about Lockdog was his Zelda. I think he has some of the best Zelda control out there out of the players. So, and I think that's going to be a really important skill to have against Eon Zerg. Eon Zerg, one of many Zergs that have very, very strong early games, very, very strong late control. And you got to have equally good Zelda control to be able to stay alive.
Ooh, Eon, speed
well.
first. Speed first before Lair.
Huh. So, catch Speedling?
That's one possibility.
What?
Or it could be just make a few extra links and do a run by, but he's making at least 2 extra links here. He's not making anything over here. No, he's making only drones, so I just think he's going to make a few extra links and try to run by. But of course, that's going to give him a very late lair. The Stargate actually starting slightly before the lair is done, and the probe is being really obnoxious. Eon can't quite close with it and kill it. And in the meantime, Eon is still droning away. Second cannon now going up for Lokedog. And he might finally catch the probe. Speed should finish soon, even if he hasn't got it by then. Needs one more little tap in the butt, and nope, decides to let the probe go. Overlord getting picked off by a goon that's been built by Desakwe. Where's the Corsair? Corsero? Or no? Okay, there's Corsair. And now here comes Speedlings. 2, 4, 6? Wait, there's 8. I think there's 8. Or maybe there's 10. Maybe that's 10. Might be 10. Oh, well, he knows about it. He should just be able to block this off real easily. Here we go.
10.
Eon threatening run by, but the block is
16.
solid. So that's just going to be kind of wasted lings. Corsair about to finish. Spire is only just started, so should be able to get 2 Overlord kills with this bad boy.
Kind of reinforcement. He's up to at least 20 now. He's a lot of Speedlings.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, now I'm starting to think it's actually going to be Speedling all in. Well, no, he's making a few more drones. Maybe he just really is hoping that the Stockway's going to run out, and then he's going to run in with a lot of Speedlings. So Overlords are like, oh, hey, Corsair, how's it going? Should be 2 kills here. He's splitting them up a little bit, I guess. So there's not going to be splash damage kills. Might even get 3. Oh, he turns the second Corsair back. Kind of going, that's a lot of lings. Enough to prompt the 3rd cannon, anyway.
Yeah. I think that's pretty smart. And
oh, and oddly, Lokedog is stopping his Corsair. He could easily had 3 or 4 Overlord kills there, but his Corsair has just decided to pause and freak out and do nothing. And now it goes back home for reasons unexplained. And Eon is getting Overlord speed.
alright. So let's see what either player are doing right now.
We're seeing leg speed and +1 from Lokedog, but off only 1 gateway. Any +1 speed lot attempt, I think there's enough lings that even with +1, if the control is decent, I'm pretty confident he can just kill it with the lings. And here we go, the Shockwave poking out a little bit. He's got to be careful not to get surrounded, and Eon goes for it! And he's going to get at least one of the Zealots, now he's got to pull back with the rest, so there's 3 cannons. He's committing to it. I'm not sure this is the time, but I guess he thinks it is, and he's running in here. And the control is really good from Desakwe. He was lining up his Zealots beautifully. Eon picks off a cannon and a couple Zealots, but that is a lot of lings to do that. And whoever said he could... Oh, it's... Okay. Okay. He's got speed and range is almost done. That is pretty scary. Would have killed all 3 of the cannons. I would have said those lings were pretty smart, but now he's gotten rid of those lings. And in hindsight, he still could have traded better, but in hindsight, reducing the Zealot count and getting rid of a cannon when you're switching into a Hydra Bust is okay, I guess. Second gateway is there for Lokedog now.
Eon Zerg canceled his fire. He had a fire that was 90% done.
I didn't notice that.
And then he just canceled it.
No range not quite yet. He's going to force these Zealots back, and now Lokedog is like, oh shit. Oh shit. It's like, Eon, you clever bastard. Oh, 1 Zealot pops and instantly dies. The gateway is going to fall super fast. He'll take down the Forge, and then he's just going to run in and go for it. I don't know if he can hold. He's going for it right now. Some of the Hydra are being dumb in the back, and I think he's going to have enough units to take this. One cannon getting low on health. There's just one living cannon. Probes at the front are dying. None of the others are going to finish, and I think Eon Zerg is going to bust with Hydras. The cannons will not be done in time. Eon Zerg, with one of the weirdest, most indecisive games, still manages to win over Low Dog. Better send that cannon, there we go. Despite changing his mind 4 or 5 times, or seemingly changing his mind 4 or 5 times, wins the game regardless. Low Dog's probably like, what the hell?
Low Dog messed up really bad. In that he had Corsairs, his opponent did not get a Spire.
Only way you can win me, 10 drones all in. He made a few more drones than 10. I think he made at least 20.
The Corsair ran away. Like, before he saw Scourge, before he saw anything, it ran away. If his Corsairs had just stuck around, he would have been able to kill off so many Overlords, as you said. He would have had perfect scouting information about all of that. He could have just had his Corsair parked over the Lings to see what number of Lings there were. Oh, God. It pains me that Eon Zerg is able to win that game. Like, you shouldn't be able to...
You shouldn't really be able to get...
9 hatch, and then cancel the proxy 9 hatch, and then go Spire, and then cancel the Spire.
Not only that, you shouldn't be able to win with a Hydra bust started long after a Corsair is out. That should be, like, eminently scoutable.
I don't even know. Tied up 2-2.
And so it is. And next up is going to be from SAS, Zaraki facing off against iFU's Pauline. Pauline, I think, is a B- or B Zerg. Zaraki is A-, so certainly Zaraki is favored. But ZVZ, obviously known for being unpredictable at times. And it is going to be a ZVZ on Tau Cross, which brings in a little bit of potential positional imbalance, giving the Overlord scouting. One player will usually scout correctly, while the other player will usually scout incorrectly, allowing better optimization and reaction from one player. So here we go into game number 5, tied up. Take it away, Hacklebeast.
In the top right, as the yellow Zerg, iFU's Pauline, and in the top left, as the green Zerg, SAS's Zaraki. ZBZ, for being dominated by so many Zergs, we have not had a lot of ZBZ so far in these two casts. I think this is the second or third one. Anyway.
So there's going to be Zaraki scouting correctly and Pauline scouting incorrectly. So already a slight advantage to the SAS player.
Yep. Indeed. Alright. So, interesting to see what the player go for. I haven't seen a whole lot of Pauline's games, but obviously Zaraki's been around for quite a while, and everybody gets familiar with him.
I think Zaraki's going to 9 pull.
Yeah.
So there it is, 9 pull. Followed up with gas or without gas? Looks like it might be without. No, with, okay. 9 pull, 9 gas. And he's saving a lot of money. Oh boy. Oh boy. It might be a 12 hatch for Pauline.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be... Well, he could still put down the pool. No, it's going to be 12 hatch. Okay. Situation is going to be very difficult for Pauline, especially since he's not going to be scouting, and Zaraki's going to be scouting, heading correctly right away. It looks like Pauline is going to make it in base, though, so that is a little bit better for him.
That's a lot better for him. Oh, man. The choke's almost holdable. On Tau Cross? Maybe. Maybe. Small chance.
Maybe, yeah.
Small chance.
I guess the good thing here is he can put a sunken... Well, maybe he can put a sunken in drill position that defends both Lings. The pool's a little bit late from Pauline, too. About 50 minerals late. And every second does count against this build especially. So that's not as good as it could have been. And Ling's on the way. Speed has been started, and of course there'll be a very fast lair as well for Zaraki. Gas also up for Pauline. Drone. Whoa! Oh, never mind. Oh, Pauline actually opted to drone scout, and he has seen this and immediately reacts with a creep colony, but I don't know if that creep colony will cover the outside left edge of the second hatchery. And what? Oh, what? He's going the wrong way. Okay, that's really nice. So Pauline critically is having some time bot for him, but the Overlord is going to see the creep at any moment here, and Zaraki should be turning around right now. Yes, he turns around immediately as the Overlord sees that creep. I don't want to reveal the whole map, though. And now streaming towards the base. The Sunken will be done, so he's going to be safe from dying. But the question is, can he save the outside hatch? And the answer is maybe. Because he's going to have Lings out, and like I said, I don't know if the Sunken covers the very left edge, but I think he'll, with 2 hatches, he's actually going to hold on and be okay. So then the only thing he's going to have to deal with is the fact it's going to be a much, much faster lair for Zaraki. Yeah, oh wow, okay, he can really attack that hatchery. So Pauline's just got to be careful and not commit. There's a good chance he can save the hatchery, though, as he is on double production. And we'll catch up here in link count fairly quickly. Pauline moves in, but he loses the link carelessly. Not a good start, but all he is trying to do right now is buy time. Zaraki, of course, cannot match the link production. And it looks like almost equal now. Speed has not been started yet for Pauline. He's got enough minerals and gas to do it. He's starting speed right now. Another good engagement from Zaraki. Zaraki's getting much better concaves, but the link count is beginning to close. Zaraki still has the mobility advantage, still continuing to pick away at this hatch. He's taking over half the health on it. It is going to be really tight on whether or not he can get this. We can tell Pauline is constantly forcing Zaraki off the hatch, and again Zaraki with a much better engagement. I think Zaraki's only lost 1 ling, and Pauline has lost several, and suddenly Zaraki's still maintaining the ling advantage. This is not going Pauline's way, flipping back to Zaraki's base. I was trying to look for the Spire, but I can't quite get a look on it. There's too much happening here. There we go, finally a good one for Pauline, where he picks off a ling of Zaraki, and Zaraki is going to be chased out and has to be prepared for the ling counter of Pauline, which should follow.
Fire's about 50% health. Right now, all that matters for Zaraki is trying to snipe that hatchery that's so low health, but he's just not going to be able to.
He's not going to get it.
Yeah. Spire's coming up pretty soon here. What kind of anti-air? I think he has to go Spore.
Oh yeah, he'll have to Spore, no doubt.
Yeah, but he's not doing it.
And Zaraki is really worried about the link counter. He's putting down 2 sunken colonies.
I think he realizes that, like, he wins.
And Pauline takes the moment to say, basically, screw you, and he pops 6 drones. And that's without an Overlord giving vision of what Zaraki's doing. So Pauline just really confident. Whoa, Zaraki putting down what the hell? We can't immediately cancel it, but 3 Muta on the way now from Zaraki. Things run in from Pauline. As I sneeze.
Okay. Oh, the Evolution Chamber's on the way now. Oh, maybe it will be in time. Like, the Mutalisk will get there before the Spore's finished, but I guess the Spores won't be killed. And those Lings, 3 Lings! The 3 Lings are gonna get the hatchery because he's no Lings at his base! Oh, a huge push from Zaraki! Able to snipe that off, really taking away the major advantage Pauline had. Now Pauline just has drones.
But Pauline does have a ridiculously greater number of drones than Zaraki. He popped like 6 extra and didn't lose any. But here come 3 Muta and... Oh, the Spore... Okay, the Spores are done. Situation's okay, he's going to lose an Overlord. Of course, now Zaraki has air dominance. He can actually take this advantage this time to expand if he wants, given his Muta air dominance. Although Pauline is also popping a few, but off 1 hatch, Pauline can't actually catch up in Muta count unless Zaraki makes a mistake like that. And suicides Muta into the Spore. Welcome to foreigners, not Koreans. Oh no! Oh, okay, there's gonna be Muta out though. But this is, oh my god. Pauline, why? Not good. It's gonna be a dance of Muta, but there's a very strong chance he can kill the Spire. Oh no. Of all the matchups where building placement is important, but there is a Muta counter from Pauline, and Zaraki has no defense there, popping a Muta and a Scourge, so we're going to trade the Spire for hopefully most of Zaraki's income, and drones are definitely going to die from Zaraki. He's got to get that Spire. It's got 62 health. He's got to go back and finish it off. He's losing all his drones, though, and sending in... no! Zaraki takes 2 hits, but he does snipe off the Spire. A third spore going up, but Zaraki's economy has been devastated. He has lost 3 or 4 of his drones, is left with only 5 or 6 mining, and the last muta from Pauline goes down. So Zaraki with complete aerial dominance, and is going to have that dominance for a very long time. 22 supply against 22 supply, dead equal. I'm gonna say that I like Zaraki's odds here, although Pauline's gonna put down a second hatch and rebuild his spire in the same, well, he's put a second spore down, okay, so it's not as bad.
Way too late there, yeah. Man, can you say Muta micro map? Where Pauline has like 7 Scourge and cannot build any more Scourge? And Zaraki has a few Mutalisks, but really can't build many more Mutalisks?
Yeah, I feel really comfortable for Zaraki's position, though. He's got just such superior air dominance, and he's always going to have it if he wants, because he can still bank up the gas. He can drone up now a ton, because there's nothing Pauline can do. I mean, the 2 hatches for Pauline is going to be sort of nice.
And I agree with that, but on the complete opposite side. I like Pauline's position because there's nothing Zaraki can do. He has air dominance, but what does air dominance matter when the economy is so damn good?
He can expand to the natural. He can do whatever. Yeah. And the problem is that even though Pauline has a good economy, he can't catch back up in the muta count because they're on the same gas. So as long as Zaraki doesn't carelessly lose muta, there's no way for Pauline to catch up. And Zaraki can take the natural.
Gas banked. As soon as he has the larva, he can spend it. Yeah, he's gonna make 6 Mutalisks. That ties him to Zaraki.
I don't think it will by the time, though, he gets those mutas out, because I think Zaraki has 5 or 6 in his stack.
Yeah.
And reinforcing with a couple others.
I guess we're just gonna have to see how this game unfolds. Man, it's close one way or another. Alright. So I think you're right about Zaraki. Zaraki needs to use the air dominance. That's pretty much what it buys him right now. He should be able to say, I can actually have stuff out on the map. I need to take a second gas.
Alright, so Pauline's back into making muta.
Yeah.
And he's making quite a few.
Does either of them have upgrades for Mutalisks? Pauline does not. Zaraki's not going for it either. Yeah, Zaraki doesn't have the money for it. And he's not saving up money for a hatchery. He's not going to have 300 minerals for quite some time.
Oh, Zaraki with a little bit of bloom. I think he's just looking for stray overlords. Hunting around the map.
Yeah. It almost feels as if Pauline could just force it. Like, try to go for the base trade.
That's the one thing he could do. If Zaraki gets out of position and Pauline's mutas fly in again, then it's really, really bad for Zaraki, because he does not have enough muta to micro those spores. Alright, this time the building placement is a lot better. I don't think that spire is actually microable down. Oh, nice hit from Pauline. 2 nice hits from Pauline. 3 nice... Oh, no, that was Zaraki's hit. Oh man, Zaraki's got to be careful here.
Man, still hit that gas.
Let's get hit from Zaraki. Man, this is always tense.
It looks like 2 full right now. Both players. The numbers are dead even.
I love watching these muta versus muta fights. Like, this is so tense. Because it's fun. Pauline might just go for the counter. Yeah, he's going for it, and he's got a head start. Zaraki's got to get back. Zaraki's got to get back, so he denies the gas for a little while anyway.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of dead drones from this. The question is, does Pauline suicide a lot of muta in the process? Oh man. Zaraki is immediately hiding his drones.
He's going to show up and there's going to be no drones.
Does he know which way to go? Or is he going to go the wrong way? Or is this actually going to save him the drones? I don't know if it was actually smart, but it worked fucking great. He saves all the drones, and now Pauline has to go back home.
It was so good.
He thought maybe the drones were back. Oh my god, so many Scourge going off. Pauline committing to the fight here. This is not the place to do it. Immediately blooms the muta, and it seems that Zaraki is out of chase range and is actually only going to get no free muta from this. So, wow.
Back in, though, looking
Pauline
to try to find those drones. Rocky didn't bring them back immediately, so he's still not mining. It's Mutalisks right now.
It's 2 against 1, but no drone blood, I see. No drone blood. Of course, gas mining has resumed for Pauline. who is popping a lot of Lings as well.
35 supply for Pauline, 39 for Zaraki. Pauline still has the supply advantage, and that supply advantage is all in the drones.
There's a drone here that could be sniped. It could be sniped. It's vulnerable. He's not going for it. He's just sitting on the creep, running into the spore. Okay, he's not running into the spore colony now. And again, going for the gas, picking off a few Lings. And now Pauline cannot engage with these Muta. He can harass with them, but he cannot engage. And yeah, Pauline has way over-droned. He's
Really
got 1k minerals, but he doesn't have the Muta count, so he can't expand anywhere else.
Really interesting for Zaraki going for the Evo Tree.
I don't actually know. Zergs that are in this position, I don't even know how you spend your money. Just make more hatcheries and make mass lanes, and just try to let them take out the Sunkens while you come in with the Muta? I don't know. Oh, Overlord in trouble. Down it goes. Down it goes. Oh, he can probably deny the hatch too. Yep.
Yeah.
Gets the cancel off in time though. Taking a few hits from the Spore. Man, Spores are so good anti-air. Slowly use Spore colonies to expand to the natural. I suppose with this much money, you almost could.
I didn't even notice it because it's all the way in the corner. He has a Hydralisk den. He's making Hydralisk.
That's something you can do with a lot of money. And Zaraki goes for the Spire again, and now the Hydras are out from Pauline.
Oh, the Spire.
Zaraki will get the Spire. At some cost. And guess what we have?
Was he going to build any more Mutilates?
Guess what we have from Pauline? The
like
expected reaction, but there's a Spore this time from Zaraki. Although, since he's transitioning into Hydralisk, he might be a little more carefree with these Muta and throw him away for a lot of drones. And since Zaraki's economy is still weak, that might be a worthwhile trade. So here we go! And yes, he's going to target fire drones, and lots of drones are going to die. Skirt's flying in like mad. He's going to get most of the drones in the mineral line, though. Zaraki runs away from the Spore colony, probably not the best, and now Pauline retreats right into Zaraki's Muta. He needs to bloom. He blooms one. Trolling him down to just 1 or 2 Muta now, make that 1 Muta left for Pauline, who is now switching into pure Hydra, and this game is getting weirder and weirder by the second. Pauline's drone count is actually thin, though, from continuing to make these buildings and continually have them killed by Zaraki. Pauline still has a much healthier economy, but it has thinned. It's not quite as robust as earlier. Okay, so Zaraki micros on the drone. He's probably just going to obliterate this Hydra. They're not in a big enough pack yet, and they're also very slow. Are they ranged? I hope to God they're ranged.
Yeah, he got the range.
Yeah, he's getting speed now.
Speed's on the way. Man, you're gonna start getting +1 armor for his Hydralisk? That's the next step, I guess. Oh, man.
Oh, a few Lings trying to sneak out. There's a lot of Lings that died to Muta bounce.
Pauline went for a really big gamble on those Mutalisks attacking the drone line. He knew that a lot of them were going to die, but I'm sure he wanted to get the match. It looks like the Spore colony from Zaraki was a really good idea. It was a risky idea, just considering how he has such a small economy and he has to invest so many drones into it. But paid off for him really well, and he's now in a much better position than he was, in my opinion. Oh, you can't afford to move the Hydralisk like this. And now these
he's
drones...
losing drones because they're going... The pool appears to be slightly messing with the gas. I saw a drone going behind the gas. And again, Zaraki's going to take down the gas. True Touch, I think, because he felt like he had a bunch of extra overmins and Hydras that would allow him to spend that while getting a formidable army against the weaker economy Mutalisks from Zaraki. Oh, Lings! Lings! I don't think they can deny the hatchery. There's 3 Muta already left back at home. No Muta picking off the rest of them, so yeah, the defense from Zaraki is solid.
Yeah. So... I'm really of the opinion that Hydralisks are bad ZBZ.
This is a lot of Hydra, though. This is really a lot of Hydra.
We'll see.
I am curious to see if this works out. He's got to get away from this cliffs, though.
Ooh, boy, that's...
Now we'll see if Pauline's been practicing this Terran play. Nice little denial there from Zaraki on the hatchery. See if he knows how to micro Hydra against Muta. Pulling them back into tight little groups when the Muta come in. This is not typical micro for a Zerg. Oh, another one goes down. He's going to really thin this crowd. Zaraki's Muta micro looking solid. I don't know if he's going to be that scared of these Hydras. He's just picking them off like so easily it's not even funny. And the Hydra is just getting thinned and thinned, and this attack is not looking good. There's almost equal Hydra to Muta. If he gets down 4 or 5 more, especially with the reinforcing Muta, he's just going to A-move and win this fight, which will give him a huge advantage. A few Lings running in there, but Zaraki has some Lings of his own out. Pauline is continuing to reinforce this, but I just don't know if there'll be enough. Now some Lings coming in as well. Hydra Ling aggression, and Pauline leaves the game. Zaraki brings it up 3-2 in favor of Sass, and murders those Hydras in cold-blooded rage before leaving himself.
And Hydras are like Marines, except imagine a ZVT where Zerg automatically starts with a +1 armor because Hydras do 1 less damage than Marines, and the Marines don't have stim, and they don't have medics.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna lose that fight every time. You can't win Hydralisk versus Mutalisks unless you're vastly, vastly ahead.
There's some cute builds you can do though to get ahead economically, especially at lower levels that work.
I think Pauline had some options that game. I don't think Hydralisk was one of them.
He went for it. It didn't work. Such is life. Life is cruel. Pauline is a B- or B player. I can't remember which. And in our next match, if it updates, sometimes it doesn't update. So let's do this. Image. Wait. Yeah, it's saved. Okay. So why is it not updating? I guess we're just gonna have to find out. As we go in game. It's gonna be on. Oh, I started without you. Oh no, never mind. That was okay. I got ahead of myself, thinking ahead of myself. So the mystery players for the 6th set. Still possibilities to see Scan. Still possibility to see, actually, who else? Maybe Alfio. Who else could we see?
DeWalt, Skyline.
Oh yeah, Must. We could see Must. We could see
TTF. Andre.
So spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Protoss, it is. Wait, what the hell?
What?
Did
I don't think it's the right reply.
I was like ISL. What?
Holy shit!
I've seen those names.
Whoa!
All right, I'm
That
pretty sure that was that was definitely the route
that no one talked about.
We may have been slightly spoilered. This might be the last game. There could be a mistake, but let's see. That or there was walkover is the other possibility. I'm starting to think that may be the possibility. It was just a 3-2 walkover for the last win.
Really? He's so anticlimactic. I think they would have told us, like beforehand, like, hey, that only has 3 games. Like, he told me that there may or may not have been walkovers for the lag reset.
www/1.
Alright. Game is starting.
Alright, we'll go to 5 Ws then. Oh, I did the wrong thing. Whoops. Because I don't think Destination is an actual map, so I think it's just a 3-2, I guess.
Destination's the 8th match.
Is it? Okay, so there might be. I don't even know. My mind is messed up.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Fighting Spirit, which this is not. So
I guess it's 3-2.
maybe
Let's see if we can get some confirmation from the sweetest overlords.
really.
Someone asking Baku what's his next rank. Apparently there is a 6th game. I guess we've been slightly spoiled, unfortunately, but we do have one more game to watch.
Does it? I don't think that it does. All of this stuff I don't think that this says that there's no 8th match necessarily.
So Java Terran is going to send me a rep. Hopefully it won't be another ISL rep. Unless you guys want to relive the ISL here live right now. More ISLs? Probably not. That was Games Tournament. And I don't know if he's going to be involved heavy time as an organizer again.
Don't put a lot of stock into it, but he said that he was going to go away for a while and then come back.
Oh, okay. What do you mean by toggle off the overlay?
He means make it so the overlay isn't on the screen when there's a game.
Oh, I see. Actually, yeah, I probably can. Yeah, okay, if you want that, sure. If that makes you happier. Hey, Javelataran, you should send me the last replay, if it exists. It must be a different... Wait, did someone send me it? Someone may have sent me it. Yes, here we go, here we go. Computer... Nope, wrong place. Desktop, StarCraft... Alright, so here's take 2. 5 W's and a 1. He ranks ISL. Oh god. Smurf team, gear up. We would need to bring back everybody we've ever had for anti-smurfing if there was an E ranks with 2K prize pool. That would be interesting to see though. If you had an E ranks prize pool and you had like 1 month to prepare for it, I wonder how much some of the people would improve being motivated to go for like a multi-K prize pool. Alright. Fingers crossed. Could this be what we want? Looks like it is. In the top right-hand corner, as the blue Protoss, we have iFU's Must. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the red Terran, we have SAS Skyline.
So, again, we're gonna have two pretty good players. Pretty good players here, as expected between these two teams. Must, aka Lancer X, been around for quite a while. Talented Protoss from Russia, and Skyline improved a lot rather recently. Was always pretty good, but now best Terran, quite possibly best Terran.
I might. I don't know. I guess based on results, probably, but seeing recent results and activity, Terror is pretty threatening. I want to see how TLS plays out, but Terra is going to be a threat, I think. He's really got some pretty serious stuff going on, both on Fish and Icy Cup.
There's good. Alright. And the map is going to be Fighting Spirit, the most classic of maps.
Busy's pretty good, but I don't know if his TVP is quite as good. So, unfortunately, Must, aka Lancer X, just got knocked out of TLS. But actually, he's been having pretty good results on Fish too, and as always, is active. Like, I think an unactive season for Must is like playing 500 Icy Cup ladder games and 500 Fish ladder games in like a season is like inactivity.
Oh shit. Here we go. Here we go. No mentions of lag. No mention of lag for lag free. But I think we've had mentions of lag in every other set. Or every other game. Like it's last as well. Alright. So scouting out the middle first, just in case there's a proxy there, not going to find anything. And is he going to double? Yes, he is going to double back, knock a cross scout, and will turn out to find his opponent first. A little bit lucky there. Meanwhile, Protoss yet to send out the scout, not what Terran's doing at the present time. But everything going as standard as it can be.
1 gate range. Factory for Skyline.
So, right now, SAS is up 3-2. If SAS wins, if Skyline wins this, then we're over. SAS wins 4-2. But Must could win this and bring the set to an ace match, which out of the players we've seen, like, who are the aces?
I don't know. They weren't on the card. I don't know who's supposed to come out for ace. Maybe Scan. That'd be rough.
Well, assuming Scan's not there, I assume Eon Zerg would be iFU base. Going up against him. I don't know, draw from Assassin's ace?
Pretty possible draw or Michael. Oh, iFU, we'd probably see Marwin. Or wait, no. Yeah, Marwin's on iFU, right?
Marwin is on iFU,
Yeah,
yes.
I could definitely see Marwin. Oh, it's 21x from Must. Alright, so FD should be pretty easy for him to hold. Should be no big deal.
Yeah, it's coming pretty soon here. Tank's almost out and mines are on the way. So presumably the Vulture comes right after that tank. And SCV is going to be able to see everything before it dies.
Alright, so down the ramp comes the tank. And Vulture's on the way. 400 minerals have been reached. And Goons 3 and 4 almost out here for Must, and a Robo on the way as well, pretty typical for this build. And a Probe is going to try to sneak in behind all this chaos. Whoop, whoop. Goons walking into some FD, taking a few hits. Slowing it down just a little bit though to buy time for the next 2 Goons to get out. And then, as long as he micros fine with 4 Goons, life will be nice. Needs to get them in better position. There we go, target firing. Marines control looks pretty good for Must so far. Most of the Marines are dying this quick. 1 Dragoon has gone down now, and suddenly the Dragoons move forward into the Marine fire, a little more than necessary. Now moving back to defend the Vulture. No mines get laid from that though, and it is down to just the tank. Probes are going to be pulled off the line here. Needs to be careful not to run into mines near where his probes are. And now he's got to pull them back or they're going to get devoured by Vultures. The next 2 Goons now popping out. The tank moves forward, is exposed. It's so close to being dead. Nice mine defuse there from Must. But he cannot go any further unless he does this. Oh, but only 1 Goon fires.
It was really nice by Skyline, I want to point it out. When he had a tank and 1 Marine left, he brought the Goon down to 1 hit point. Then he manually clicked on the Goon, saw how much health it had, and sacrificed the Marine just to attack the Goon. And you can tell that the Marine, it wasn't a misclick, he very deliberately brought the Marine back just to get that final shot off on him. It was pretty sick, and managing to get a bit late much later scout toss.
Interestingly, Skyline appearing to go for Vulture speed before Siege. So not feeling concerned about a counterattack at all. Ob's about to come out, and he must be following this up with a shadow, with a shuttle. So he might be wanting to bulldog right after he clears out these mines.
That is interesting going for the Vulture speed. It's going to be certainly a surprise to the Protoss, and early Vulture harass can always be really effective. Yeah, I think there's a really good opportunity for a backstab here, right after.
Oh, it gets in.
Speed.
Say hi to the Vulture.
Although it is one hit away. There we go. Even one probe hit would have killed it off.
And that Vulture goes down immediately, and now the shuttle is out. Oh, so far there's only one Zealot. Is he making... Oh, he's not making more. Are they already in... No? No? Okay, he's just got a shuttle, degradation shuttle. Or he's gonna Goon Bomb.
He's a Reaver.
Oh, he's getting Reaver? Oh, yeah. Touche.
Alright, so what kind of anti-Reaver defense are we looking at? There's no eBay, he's not getting any kind of turrets up. He did have the scout off with the Vulture, but the went close enough to see it. He went kind of down below the mineral line, so he might not know that the Reaver's coming.
Skyline playing very confidently, just flat out building the CC at his third base. And here comes Must now moving out. He can safely run down with his goons. His obs has already checked the mine path, knows there's no mines here, and the shuttle is loaded up with the Reaver, and I don't know where the hell it went. Oh, here it is. It's halfway down to the base. We'll see maybe a little bit of a Reaver Bulldog for very clump tanks. Must needs to move back though and wait for that shuttle to get in there if he wants to run in. I can kill these Dragoons so fast. And in the meantime, Vulture run by. Top base, a few mines going off. But there's a Dragoon there to kind of mess up the target. No, the Vulture's actually just killing probes anyway. Killing probes in both bases. And Must is going around to the back door. Might get there in time to force a cancel on the CC, which is pretty big. It'd be a lot of wasted CC time if he gets his butt over there and snipes off that SCV. But he's got to get up. No, the CC's going to finish, and it's not going to be as big of a deal since he's killing off the depot first. Snipe the SCV. It's so close. It's going to finish. Alright, you should be able to save the CC now. We'll lift off. In the meantime, the Reaver, though, killing some probes in the main, or SCVs in the main. I don't know how many got. This CC is actually in danger. Skyline is not reacting because he's busy defending the Reaver of Must. A lot of action going on in this game. I don't know how much multitasking, but the CC may die. He's bringing SCVs to repair. Oh, he's got to run in for it, though. But Must is focused on his shuttle and not losing it, which might let the CC escape by the narrowest of margins. No! It goes down. Huge loss for Skyline. Or, yeah, huge loss for Skyline. Where does that leave the supplies? Yeah, about 20 behind for Skyline.
Big plays from Must there. That Reaver, I think really briefly, I saw it had 8 SCV kills.
Okay, so it did some damage, although let's not forget Must took probe damage as well. Especially the natural got raided. So I think it was pretty even worker trades from what I gathered. But the loss of the CC is big. Not only is it 400 minerals, but that is all the lost CC time. And what the hell? Okay, that's got to be a misroll. I was like, he cannot think he's going to break that with 3 goons.
There is an eBay in position. There is a Goliath over there, so it's not as if he can just start ferrying units over that little chasm. Like, had units in position to do that. That shuttle's taking a lot of damage from the Goliaths. I think they're right now, but it took a lot of Goliath damage, so he needs to be a little bit cautious about going in there. And he is picking up another goon. Doesn't have an extra zealot. Did lose one that he brought into the base, so gonna be trying to do the same thing with the goon now. And where is he going to go with that shuttle? Anyway, in the meantime, taking a third base, very nice. And adding to his gateway count? No, still on 3 gateways. Adding the Citadel, though, getting Zealot speed.
Oh, open door to the third, so a few vultures gonna run there and lay some mines up there at the third. No probes have been sent there yet. Oh! Must running into a bunch of mines in the middle of the map. One of them goes off, weakening a lot of goons to yellow health. Now the ops catching up. Vultures trying to run by into the main, denied by the goons. In good position there at the wall, and now it looks like Must is gonna go clear out his third, so he can actually matrix some probes over there. And a few goons run down from the ramp, seemingly suiciding into a tank. And I don't know where the shuttle went.
It's in the middle of the map.
Oh yeah, there it is. Little blue dot there. But that was just like a goon. Alright, Must has completed his pylon wall on the left side there, so vultures can't run in the long route. Just has to be careful of defending the close by route. Might pylon wall that off as well.
Yeah. With the turrets up with the Goliaths, and because the shuttle is at low health, it really doesn't seem like he can be able to get any more Reaver harass in. It's just going to be another component.
And Skyline, I guess, is just playing all in because he's made no attempt to rebuild that command center. Which would be ridiculously playing with a ridiculous economic disadvantage here, so it might just try to timing attack all in here from Skyline.
I think Terran's okay. Base first 3. It's not the best, but it's not horrible.
If you sit on it, it is.
Yeah, I think he's got some time. I think he's got some time before. There we go. Marathon is on the way. So he is a little bit slow. Would like to see him take out the moves a little bit faster, but I can respect not wanting to. So he already got that earlier. Trying to bust up his ramp, leading to the third, but who's gonna block that? Looks like he doesn't have any mines. Way there.
And here comes Skyline. And it looks like this is going to be a committed attack here from Skyline because he's moving way out across the bridge into the middle of the map content. He's seizing a few tanks up, and there's a vessel with this push. EMP may or may not have been researched. It is being researched. He's not going to have an EMP every time this fight. But Must does have a rear defend, but at the same time has to be careful. There are 4 or 5 Goliaths in this group, quite possibly with range. And Skyline pushing forward quickly. Oh my god, gets off a nice little siege tank hit there. 2 goons instantly dying, and the shuttle takes 3 Goliath rounds. It's down to just 1 little bit of health. 1 more Goliath shot, and that shuttle might fall. I guess now it'll have enough shield rating for 2. 140 supply against 120. Fairly even, actually, so this push is a little bit threatening, but if Must engages nicely, he should beat it relatively easily.
This threat is really scary, I think. He doesn't have Arbiter tech out. So, I mean, it's just up to that dropship to really deal with this. Has Zealot speed even done? He has to. Okay, he does have Zealot speed.
That takes advantage. Must needs to either back up or go for it, and he's going to back up and reposition a little bit. Where can the shuttle go? I don't know. Must has a lot of units out, though. I guess he's just trying to buy as much time as possible. Now they're getting to a lot of tanks here for Skyline, and they're in a nice position to fight this Protoss army. Must keeping the mines relatively cleared out, though, which is always nice, allowing themselves to run on top of the tanks a little bit faster. There's probably an EMP now available. We'll see what kind of EMP can hit on this army. Tanks moving up closer to the bridge. Is he going for it? Some goons are moving forward. They're clearing mines, though, at the expense of themselves. And the trigger has been pulled. Here come the Zealots. But how quickly will they evaporate? It seems pretty quick. And it looks like this attack from Skyline is doing tremendous damage. The Zealots are pulverized, and now Skyline is positioned at the bridge. All he needs is a round or 2 of reinforcing vultures, and he might just be okay, although he is still only off 5 factories of production. And Skyline is just barreling down up to this bridge. Arbiter not even close to out yet for Must.
And never even bothered to expand. He's finally moved that thing over, but there he didn't bother to go and check to see if they were cleared out. So can't expand. But I don't think it's going to matter. I don't think he needs third base to lift him up to win the game. Jeez. So many turrets, so many mines, so many tanks. And again, no Arbiter tech, no Stargate. He does have the Templar archives, but it's not as if he's out the storm. Could make some DTs. I don't know what DTs are going to do here.
And now everything is C-tip, so the Natural's going to fall, bringing this game to 2 base versus 2 base, probably soon to be 2 base against 3 base, and tanks are being diverted to the 3rd base, and I think Must is going to lose his all eco. Oh, the tanks are on move command, moving into a bunch of Dragoons. So reinforcing vultures coming, but Must is targeting down tanks, now forced back up the ramp with those Dragoons. I don't even know how the hell they got over there, but they did. Please trap the... Okay, there we go. Trap the goon, which moves forward instantly into siege tank range. There's a possibility that as Skyline diverts units to kill the 3rd, Must will break out, but even if he does, he'll be on 1 base eco against Skyline's 3 base eco now.
Tearing ahead by...
Must, I think, will take out this Nexus before he breaks out. Here we go, Must trying to break out again. Zealots are running into the tank line. And they are nicely into the tank line. Will this be enough to take this out? I don't know. There are some vultures assisting from below, but I think it's enough units from Must to clear out what Skyline has. Good timing for the reinforcing vultures, though. He's going to get rid of all the tanks, and there might be enough vultures to muscle through it all. But the Nexus is under fire, although only by 1 tank at the bottom of the ramp. Really ought to move up on that high ground a little bit. He's going to give Must an opportunity to save this top Nexus, maybe. Nope, never mind. That's a lot of reinforcements. That is a lot of reinforcements. The Nexus is going to go down, and Must is going to be left with no eco against lots of eco, and he GG's. So SAS will be your winner against iFU 4-2. But we continue the theme this week of none of the teams bringing out their heavy hitters. No Fangzy, no Scan, no Zeke. No, we saw Zeke, never mind. Zeke came out, but we didn't see Fangzy, we didn't see Scan. So the secret weapons are still being kept waiting in the shadows.
Alright. That's going to do it for our cast. I want to thank you all for watching, and once again, I really want to thank Swedish Brood War Initiative for sponsoring this tour, for getting it all together, for organizing it.
You guys can
all
donate
big stuff.
to Swedish Brood War Initiative and stuff. You should do that if you have money. It's awesome. Support for Brood War. Be a badass. And yeah, I guess that's all for today. So thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you next weekend, or perhaps I'll see you guys sometime this week for, what is it, Wednesday or something like that? For King of the Hill Pro League style. And yeah, thanks for casting, Hackle.
I'm supposed to name drop Pez.
Name drop Pez?
Sorry. I'm supposed to name drop Pez, but I do not know what I'm name dropping him for, so I'm not sure this name.